my goodness, welcome back. This track is too exciting right now.
I'd love to have some Oreos.
I don't think I've ever felt so excited to walk into the main door of a mansion when everyone is locked away.
What? And
Battler is a dead boy.
Yeah. Rip Battler.
You know, the other interesting thing, I've been speculating as to what the nightmare scenes have meant. It'd also be fun if the entire thing where he couldn't leave the room was like foreshadowing of what Erika's just done now. Like, they never used tape in that set of imagery, but it would make sense that like Battler's like trying to get himself out of this room, but he can't move it because like something's stopping him. That being the tape that will later be placed by retroactively being nice to Erika.
Retroactively, yeah.
What a dummy!
This is why you just don't be nice to people. Just don't do it.
But it's all right. I mean, Battler's being written this way by Featherin, right? So it's not like he really had much room to do it himself.
I guess so.
Fucking layers of reality, too much for me.
Yeah, I'm good to continue.
The entrance to the mansion was locked, but Erika had a master key, so she opened it without any trouble. She'd gotten Cross and the others to take the master keys from the servants, and at that time she'd used a little sleight of hand to pilfer one of them.
Wonderful.
What a beautiful...
detective.
Beautiful detective.
She's the hero of this story, remember? She's a detective.
Yeah, she is indeed the hero. Yeah. Well, then, where shall we go first?
Why ask? Let's go and hear Battler San's answer.
Grinning, Erika cut across the entrance hall and passed in front of the dining hall, deeper, deeper. She headed for the guest room Battler had lain dead in. Battler could put off deciding whether the seals would remain whole or not until the moment right before Erika witnessed them. However, once she did witness them, the Game Master would have to show what had happened to them. In the witch's game they were in now, the simple act of going to check the seals around the guest room was an attack. Are you ready, Lord Battler? Yeah, or as you'd say, come, step forward.
Good. Then show us your response. Well now, are the seals broken or are they not? Has the closed room been preserved, or hasn't it?
The piece Erika held high in the air was the White Queen, which represented herself. Her target was Battler's camp. She attacked. Erika dashed down the hallway with a sickening smile and clung to the guest room door like a spider. Then she closely examined the seals she had placed retroactively.
Are you sure? Are you sure about this, right, Battler Schwartz?
Is this okay, Battler San?
Yeah, I can't back down here. After all, even if I'm sealed in here, there are ways of placing the ladder.
But now, Erika will probably enter the guest room and then she'll observe your corpse. What are you going to do? If the corpse is there, then there's no problem. The latter's prediction will be off, but it's known as there's a penalty for that. But still, you intend to fight head on.
There are times the man is challenged head on and he has to respond no matter who the opponent. I must not pull back here. I'll take that challenge. I can search for a way out all I want to later. I managed to do that with Kinzo's study last time. Don't worry, I can do it, I can do it. Come on, Erika! We have confirmed that the seals to the guest room are undamaged. Since the time Lady Erika confirmed Battler's presence, this room has been preserved.
Good! I'm breaking the seals! Rip, tear.
Erika destroyed the packing tape seal on the door in ecstasy. Looked as though the intellectual rapist had finally laid her true nature bare.
Okay, I'm opening it. Let's have a look at Battler San's naked scenario.
Like a ruffian pushing down a frail girl, Erika mercilessly and greedily threw the door open. Then finally the inside of Battler's guest room was observed by Erika. Battler had to show it. Was there a corpse or wasn't there?
Come on, Battler!
Here's my response. Battler grabbed a black piece from the board and raised it high. That piece. Beto had no memories of the time she'd been an expert at this game. And yet for some reason she realized this was a move that could not be taken back. Once this piece was moved, they couldn't move it back. The guest room was covered by a silent darkness. It was pitch black and nothing could be seen. However, there was a light switch just off to the side of the entrance. She flicked that. The room would be lit up, and she would see whether or not there was a corpse on the bed. Shall I turn them on?
No. Wait a second, please. Butler-san, I have a proposal.
Let's hear it.
I think you already know, but this time around, I'm not aiming to find the culprit and achieve a standard victory. My enemy is not the lowly culprit killing the pieces, but my opponent, you yourself.
I know. So you're after a logic error. I'm seriously regretting it now. Even though you were just pretending to be miserable, I fell for it completely and gave you a ridiculous ability. That was your pride. It will cost you dearly. Damn it. He is incompetent after all.
It's true. So, what is your proposal?
With a firm voice, Beto urged her to continue. Until just a second ago, she had remained behind Battler's back, a bit flustered. However, she was steady now. She saw that Battler had let his emotions take control of him and had been lured into making a bad move, and realized that it was time for her to stay cool and support him. Erika's proposal couldn't be anything good, and on top of that, Erika was sly. She probably wouldn't make a proposal that would be easily rejected.
I will now turn on the lights. The top of the bed will be lit up, and it will be decided whether or not Battler has disappeared as the legend predicted. If he's there, great. There's nothing strange at all. The letter's prediction would just be wrong. Of course, the argument would probably switch over to then who put the letter there, but for the time being, the location of the fight would move outside this closed room. And if he's missing...
Beto already knew. She knew the move that Battler had made a second ago. Battler had already disappeared from this room. Therefore, they would need to prepare a disappearing trick other than he was actually alive and left through the door. The situation is simple. First, this room is a closed room. Also, Battler's life or death status hasn't been confirmed. In other words, him being alive wouldn't cause any problems. They had to make Erika think that Battler had vanished from the situation. He just had to escape from the room. If that wasn't possible, he just had to hide somehow and wait for her to leave, making her think that he disappeared.
Inside this tiny room, I will now begin our endgame, the chase after the king. It should end in just a few moves. You'll be unable to construct the logic needed to let Battler escape from this room, and the tale will be destroyed. Game over. Fighting to keep that from happening is our job. What is this proposal of yours? An endgame fought over a logic error should be a bit more precise. Once again, we'll fight with the red and blue truths, but we need a referee on the same level as the game master to observe and see that he doesn't create any logic errors with the red truth. That seems reasonable. There's nothing special about this. Back when the old you was the game master, you were under the observation of your guardian, Lady Lambda Delta. In that way, it was judged that all red truths were valid.
So you're telling us to show Lambda Delta our cards?
I've been watching since the beginning. It's okay, don't worry. I am impartial in my judgments.
Can you say that in red?
Yep, I swear that I am impartial in my judgments.
Easy.
I was plenty impartial in the last game, wasn't I?
Especially for interesting judgments where she doesn't care which way it falls. Accepted, Battler. Erika is going to corner you. Understand. She will duel with you and kill you in this room. If you're a man, accept that duel.
Sure, fine. We won't get anywhere if you suspect every single impossible murder I show of being a logic error. It's true that we need an observer to guarantee this game is legitimate.
Then I'll come around to your side. Let me take a look at your hand.
Lambda Delta understood what Battler had up his sleeve, and she saw that Erika's first move had indeed gone straight through his heart. Just as Erika had guessed, Battler was alive and had slipped out of the room after Erika had examined his corpse, placed the letter by the guest house and hid somewhere. When the packing tape seals had been retroactively placed in the guest room, he would have had to show that they'd been torn. However, if he'd done that, it would have been the same as admitting that he'd been seen through and that he'd lost. Unwilling to admit that, Battler had claimed that the seals had been maintained with false courage, and was now rushing to revise his logic. Sure, he could still escape for a few more moves. However, Erika was planning to corner and kill him here. We haven't been told that there's tape on the windows, but I'm kind of just assuming there is.
Tape for a whole room. That's what she was
Yeah,
given,
I know.
So.
Battler, you're fighting with some pretty incredible cards here.
Cards? Does this game of chess look like a card game to you?
To me, it looks as though you're playing a game of poker. So by moving to this side and looking at the cards you hold, I understand everything. That's an awful move. It's complete waste. And Erika's already seen right through you.
What would you do?
I'm the referee. I can't give you advice, but let me tell you my impressions.
No, that's okay.
It's chilling. You're trying to use this useless move, this baseless bluff to make Erika back down. She's not gonna back down, that girl. After all, oh, I hit the button.
You fool!
You're the one who should be throwing his chips and folding now.
Thanks for the advice about the sun. I agree with her. Let's back down from the fight in this room. We don't have any winning cards.
Were you hoping to discard your cards and draw something more useful? I thought you were playing chess. No, with chess, if you rely on luck, you die.
By hoping to draw something useful, she meant relying on luck and betting that even if you couldn't think of a trick now, you might think of a good plan for making a closed room trick later on. If you entered into the fight without a trick of any mind, you got killed. Now's the time to back down. When Erika flipped the switch, he just had to be sleeping there on that bed. That's all he needs.
Lambda, I don't know what you're talking about, but you're chatting far too much. A referee needs to be impartial.
True. Then my good luck, battler. I'm hoping for a precise, chess-like battle. You aren't playing poker, are you?
Fucking
I love
wrecked.
She's like, you're playing chess, but it looks like you're playing poker. You better not be playing poker. It's great.
What a
I love her.
fucking character.
Are you ready, Battler-san?
Yeah, I am. Turn the lights on whenever you want.
For the rest of the fight in this room, the progression of time will be stopped. This way, all the moves of both players will be made at the same time, and the first move made will be treated no differently than the last move. It might be hard to understand for you, but this will exist for the purpose of maintaining logic, and to keep you protected as well.
From here on out, you can use all the twisted logic you want to rebuild the trick in this room. In other words, it's possible that you might think of a good idea partway through the fight. Normally, it's unfair to revise your plot halfway through. In order for that to be acceptable, you need a world stopped in time, where everything happens at once, and where logic that you think of afterwards can counter your opponent's earlier moves.
Of course, Erika can take advantage of this rule as well. If you revise your trick to be a new one, she can deal with that in a different way.
This is pretty complicated.
It's simple. It's like a corrupt politician's war of twisted logic.
Yeah.
You lie shamelessly. When evidence is shown revealing that lie, you retract those previous lies and shamelessly say that you just remembered it wrong. Then change to a new lie that doesn't have any contradictions. The fight goes between a lie, then evidence exposing it, and then another lie. Like a fight between two snakes spinning around trying to eat each other's tails.
Good.
You know what
Yeah.
happens in Norse mythology when a snake stops chasing its own tail?
What happens?
The end of the world, Ben.
I'm aware. I'm familiar with Norse mythology. Let's go find fucking Yggdrasil and climb that tree and shit.
Good. Just think of it as a world in which you're allowed to use twisted logic based off of your opponent's moves as often as you want. I use that myself when stealing this room, so I thought it was only fair to let you do the same.
You have no shame, do you?
I'm glad you've noticed.
Okay. Then let's have both sides begin. Will Erika take the first move? Will she start by checking the bed, by checking to see what he's bet?
Yeah, let's start by checking to see if Battler's on the bed.
I love that Lambda's using poker terminology already, just like, fuck you, Battler!
Erika, begin.
Leave it to me, my master. Light on!
So dramatic.
With a click, the sound of the light switch rang out and the bulb turned on, lighting up the room. On Battler's bed was...
Glanor, confirm it with the red.
Yes. Sure me a Battler. I'm really dragging this shit out. No, it's my move.
Yeah.
I'll say it. Sure me a Battler is not on the bed.
Here we go.
Good. I'm glad you didn't run away from the fight. I'm impressed.
It's a high stakes battle, so it'll cost you a lot if you're the one who loses. You prepared?
No one would raise the stakes unless they felt confident in their advantage.
They're really fucking going ham on the poker.
Or unless they were forced to. Yeah, it's so fun. Glanor, keep a record.
As you wish. At Lenore's nod, Cornelia, who was hanging back, started taking a record. She wrote down that Battler's corpse, which should have been on the bed, was not. And also that Battler hadn't backed down from this closed room game.
As previously announced, Battler's first move is to have the corpse vanish. Now it's Erika's turn. Go ahead.
I present the possibility that Ashumia Battler is alive and hiding somewhere in this room. I proclaim this with the blue truth.
Invalid. If you want to use the blue truth, give me a specific location.
In the last game, Beata did that in Kinzo's study, and Lionel made Swiss cheese of her, right? Are you trying to take revenge for that?
Before I start searching, I have one blue truth I can use without a search. There is a possibility of a hidden door X that is impossible to discover. He's hidden behind that, so it's impossible for me to find him.
Shout out to the detective's authority. Nox is third. It is forbidden for hidden passages to exist. Isn't that right?
No hidden places that are impossible for Erika-san to find exist in the guest room.
Nox is third. Valid.
Thought it was just a little annoying that she didn't get to say that.
Good. Then let's get started with the search.
Erika slowly began to walk around the room. Until the endgame had started, Erika had been energetic, jumping about impatiently like a hungry dog. However, now that it had actually begun, this was a stifling battle of wits where each breath made her tense. Even the quiet sound of the rain was distracting.
Now that I've searched the room, let's confirm its layout.
The guest room is divided into 2 rooms, the bedroom and the bathroom. Lady Erika has currently searched the entire bedroom section. There's only one exception.
I'll leave that one place be for the time being. So, were there any irregularities discovered in the bedroom?
There were none. Except for one location. There is no one to be seen in the bedroom.
What's this except for one location business? Say it without being annoying.
There's a reason a face down card remains face down. I'll turn it over if it's needed, so look forward to it.
After thoroughly checking the bedroom, Erika headed for the bathroom door. Since he wasn't in the bedroom, it was natural to think that he was in the bathroom. And since the guest room was made up of 2 rooms, if Badler wasn't in the bathroom either, it would mean that he had managed to vanish from the closed room. Except for that single location that Erika had intentionally left unchecked.
I'm checking the bathroom.
Lady Erika, the sound of water can be heard from inside. Also, there is a faint heat.
Oh? Don't tell me he's taking a shower. Is it locked or something?
No, it isn't locked. Go ahead and open it.
Then, if you'll allow me...
Slowly, Erika put her hand on the doorknob of the bathroom door. Since she tried to push it open, but felt a strange resistance. Of course, it wasn't the resistance of the lock. It felt as though it had an unnatural load on it. Out from the slightly open crack poured the hot air from the shower. However, it was unlocked, so there probably wasn't anyone taking a shower. After letting a dumbfounded expression rise to her face, Erika slammed into the door with her whole body, knocking it open.
Yeah? What?
As soon as she opened the door, a hot blast poured out on her. Erika froze, unable to understand what had happened. After falling backwards on her butt, she realized that a boiling hot shower water was spewing out at her and hard. What?
What is this? What a crazy prank!
Cursing, Erika wrapped blankets from the bed around herself and tried to enter the bathroom once more. This time she was able to figure out what was going on. It was quite an elaborate prank. A wire fixed the shower nozzle in place so that it pointed at the entrance. The pressure and the heat were turned up to the max, so that anyone who went through the door would be met with a wave of hot water. Of course, nothing was leaking out under the door, because that would be silly.
No.
The pressure was very strong, which probably accounted for the weight she had felt when trying to push the door open. She tried to make the nozzle point in another direction. Not only was it fixed in place by the wire, it was also fixed in a place high enough that Erika couldn't reach it with her height. She tried to turn off the pressure, but that was also held in place by wires. She couldn't manage anything with her bare hands. She would have to get a tool that could cut the wires. However, when she looked into the bathtub, which was overflowing with very hot water, she saw a bundle of wires and some nippers that had been used to cut them lying at the bottom. If she used that, she could turn off the pressure.
Oh! Damn you!
The blanket she'd used to protect herself from the shower was getting more and more drenched with boiling hot water. At this rate, she'd get burns even through the blanket. She needed to turn the water off quickly. Right next to the bathtub, she saw hanging a long-handled body brush. Perfect. Erika used that to skillfully scrape the nippers off the bottom of the tub. Fortunately, it was a shallow Western-style bathtub. If it had been a deep Japanese one, it probably would have burned her badly. Making sure not to touch the hot metal parts, she carefully took the nippers and cut the wires around the faucet. Take that and that. I am thoroughly bewildered by what the play is here.
I don't know.
She finally managed to turn the hot water faucet and the heat from the hot water storm died down. For a while, Erika was forced to cool her almost burnt arms under running water.
What a calamity.
Would you like a bath? I can wash your face with this brush.
I appreciate the sentiment, but no.
Oh, that's a shame.
Erika had finally regained enough of her composure to be abusive. She turned off the faucet completely and silence returned to the bathroom. After that, all that remained was Erika's heavy breathing. She turned on the fan to get rid of the hot steam. She had to leave the bathroom until that was finished. It was pleasant, like stepping into an air-conditioned room on a hot summer's day.
Now that was a ridiculous trap. However, that wasn't here at the time I examined Battler's corpse. Therefore, the appearance of this trap proves that Shumia Battler was alive. Well, I never thought he was dead anyway.
So he decided to openly show a card that had already been exposed.
Let's check the inside of the bathroom. Was Battler seen?
No. No one was seen in the bathroom.
Good. Now we've confirmed that, except for one location, Battler does not exist anywhere inside the guest room. Give that a rest. Just where is this one exception? A coffin. Shumia Battler's coffin, that is.
Ashes to ashes, the dead to their coffins.
You plan to trap me in this room, right? Okay, let's have it. A silence that was complete except for the rain was suddenly filled with the smell of gunpowder. It was extremely quiet. The room was filled with tension as though you'd be sliced in half if you relaxed for an instant. A cloud of gold butterflies gathered on the room's round table and turned into a witch's chessboard. It was finally time for her attack. Now, if you recall, in my theory about the butterflies, only the culprit accomplices or people who would not or cannot deny magic would see the butterflies.
You think Erika's seeing butterflies right now?
Maybe? Does that count? I don't know. I just thought I'd point it out before we moved on.
Right here.
Blue Truth, you did not vanish from this room. You just hid yourself to make it seem as though you disappeared from a closed room. The place you are hiding is the one exception that I haven't investigated yet.
I can't wait for it to be like the fireplace or some shit and she lights it and leaves. As Erika lightly raised her right hand, a single gold butterfly appeared from the darkness behind her. Flitted between the index finger and the middle finger of Erika's raised hand and became a white piece. Then she lifted it high into the air.
This is the one exception. The walk-in closet next to the entrance.
Like a falling white lightning bolt, the white piece hit the board, landing by a weak spot in Battler's formation.
Yes, it is here.
With the crash, the door of the closet, which was just off to the side of the guest room's entrance, was impaled by a spear that represented the Blue Truth. Lenore had spun around and thrown it. The door was completely pierced, and the spear stuck in so deeply that if a human had been hiding in that, it would have pierced their chest as well. Its still quivering handle was a testament to the force with which it had been thrown.
There are no places in which to hide other than this. You are now hiding in here.
What do you say, Battler Schwan? Have you been struck through the chest by a literal smothered mate?
Battler-san, it's our move now.
Yeah. Thought it'd be like that, Erika. You intentionally left one spot open so you could stuff me into that coffin. It's the same move that trapped Kinzo in Natsui's room. I saw it coming.
Oh, did you? Then let's see your response. But let me make a prediction.
Let's hear it.
I'll checkmate you 2 moves from now. That's my prediction.
Then I'll make the same prediction. I'll checkmate you in 2 moves.
Sounds interesting.
These predictions contradict each other. Who will be the liar, I wonder?
The air burst and sparked.
Silence would hurt one's skin. Then go. It is your turn.
It's useless. Your lowly coffin won't be able to trap Battler-san.
Here's my response. Slowly, Battler moved his hand over the chessboard. A gold butterfly that appeared from the darkness rested on Battler's finger and became a black piece. That black piece was the king, which represented Battler. This is my response to your Battler is hiding in the closet. Take this. Shermia Battler does not exist within the guest room. There are no exceptions, including the closet. Like a black bolt of lightning this time, Battler slammed his piece down on the white piece of Erika's that had cupped deep behind his line, crushing hers. It scattered like a golden spray and melted beautifully into darkness as faint as a cloud of gold sparks drifted about. I see, so he hid in the closet at first, and then slipped out of the room while Erika was occupied with the shower. In before Erika sealed the fucking closet.
It's the same technique used let Kinzo escape from the study in the last game. Distract the observation of the observer and disappear into the darkness.
Erika put tape on the closet. Here it comes.
Good. Of course, yes, of course. I'd already foreseen that move.
Next was Erika's turn. A gold butterfly popped into existence in front of Erika. She grabbed it right out of the air. Then she lifted that high into the air and raised the white piece high. Hand into the air, right?
Close enough.
Let me announce a retroactive move.
Here it comes.
This occurs back in the very beginning, right after I broke the seals
Here it comes.
and entered this room.
Here it comes.
At that time, I immediately closed the door, reset the chain, and sealed this room.
Objection. Go to sever the chain back when the crime was first discovered. Since the chain lock is not functioning, it is impossible to use it to create a seal.
Objection overruled. Erika repaired the chain lock. See?
Impossible. How could she have repaired a brass chain?
It's possible. Have you forgotten, Banner? The packing tape seals. Erika used that packing tape to join the two cut ends of the chain together, sealing them. In other words, the chain was repaired by the packing tape, and this room once again became a closed room locked from the inside.
Objection. Erika-san has already used up her packing tape seals, hasn't she? She shouldn't be able to use them anymore.
Objection overruled. The use of the packing tape wasn't limited by the number of strips, right? It was by the number of rooms.
Rude.
The only restriction was to limit to the 3 rooms. Erika chose the guest room to be one of the rooms. So Erika has the right to seal as many places as many times as she wants within this room.
That's right. I gave her permission to do that. This is the cost of your pride. Sympathy is the evil liquor that the proud are most fond of.
So, with this retroactive move, I proclaim that the chain lock has been repaired by the packing tape seal and has regained its original functionality. And, thanks to that, I locked the room upon entering it and made this guest room a closed room from the inside once more.
The white piece that Erika held aloft represented the seal caused by the chain lock. This move would draw out Battler's king and drag it to the guillotine.
Die, Battler!
The piece for the chain lock was slammed down right at Battler's king's throat.
Repeat it! The lock created by the chain is currently intact.
Battler's face contorted. Vader, who was watching from behind, grimaced even more. This move was very painful. His logic had him hiding in the closet until Erika left, using the uproar in the bathroom to escape. Then the chain lock must have been undone. In other words, he couldn't respond to her demand. If he didn't respond, Erika would use the blue truth in her next move. She'd probably say you hid in the closet, then used the disturbance in the bathroom to escape. Since you then couldn't set the chain lock from the outside, you left it undone. She would be right. This was checkmate. As Erika had predicted, she would strike the finishing blow on the second move. On top of that, she would probably use the disappearing battler to solve most of the crimes that were to follow. Losing the battle in this closed room would seal a major deciding piece from Battler. But what if he responded to her demand? What if he could say the lock created by the chain is still intact? That would be fatal to Erika. It had already been shown with the red truth that this guest room could only be made into a closed room from the inside. So this hopeless closed room would instead become Erika's coffin. But
With a riddle of that magnitude, Erika probably wouldn't solve the mystery of Battler's disappearance before the end. Each unsolved riddle gives an advantage to the witch side. Battler wanted to respond with this demand if at all possible. However, if he responded, if he answered by saying that the chain was still set, he would have to abandon the logic saying that he had escaped while Erika wasn't looking. Once he escaped, he wouldn't be able to set the chain lock again. He would make a riddle to corner Erika, but he would have to construct a different escape method. Even such a move as him leaving the closet during the scene in the bathroom, hiding under another place, say under the bed, wouldn't work because he had proclaimed that Battler does not exist within the guest room. He could construct logic that allowed him to escape from where he was, from here while preserving the chain lock's position, and Erika would be the one facing a fatal blow. However, if he didn't have that logic, if he failed, it would be a logic error. The worst and lowest forbidden move that would instantly end the game in his defeat. He'd have no way to recover. For Battler, deciding how to respond to this demand was a very advanced and difficult decision. Either way, Erika would probably corner him. In that case, my choice is obvious.
Battler-san,
Here it comes.
this guest room has already been restricted in many ways by the Red
Here
Truth
it comes.
due to its closed room nature. How do you plan on escaping from this?
Here it comes. If only I could do something about the chain lock. If only. You could somehow get around the chain lock. You could force Erika to deal with a terrible closed room. Probably end up as a finishing blow to her. In order to do that, he would need to make a trick for escaping the closed room that existed before Erika came back, which was now the closed room sealed by the chain that Erika set right after entering the room. And on top of that, he had to make sure that the chain could only be set from the inside, remained in place. He could do that if he could find a way, it would end here. I still can't think of that trick. Right now, Erika's demanding to know whether the chain lock is still set or not. I need to decide whether I'll take that challenge or back down, and I need to do it right now. I can find a certain win trick. And this is the end. I don't have that trick. She just acknowledged that I slipped out of the closet, undid the chain, and escaped, backing out of the fight. Say the chain was set without a trick up my sleeve. It's impossible for me to escape. In other words, it's a logic error.
Even if we lose the fight in this room, there will still be chances left to us. We still only started the second day, haven't we? We have plenty of time to reconstruct an impossible murder.
No, that's no good. If I acknowledge that I've escaped from this room now, it's the same as acknowledging that I'm the culprit. If I back down from the fight in this room, it's the same as accepting my defeat in this game. Battler's point was a valid one. Since all of the other humans were still locked in the guest house, and if Battler alone was alive and free to move, Erika would probably base her explanation for all of the following impossible crimes on the blue truth that Battler was the perpetrator. If they wanted to forcefully turn that around, they would have to rewrite their tricks and logic so you could see someone other than Battler would be set up as the perpetrator. If they fixed up that one flaw, it would give rise to new flaws, which might eventually pile up and kill Battler. Even running away would mean tightening the noose around his own throat. The first truth that Battler is the culprit has already been hit upon. And yet I have to struggle desperately to get out of this. I need to. I'm on the edge. I've definitely been cornered in a dangerous spot. However, if I can just change my position, everything might turn around at once. If I can just make this chain my weapon, I can kill Erika.
Wait, are you actually going to respond to a demand? Is there any way to escape without undoing the chain lock? There isn't. If you respond, you'll lose instantly from the logic error at the end. It's clear which choice we ought to make.
Yeah, it's clear. No matter what move we choose, it'll turn for the worse, just as Erika wants. If it's horrible either way, I'd like to choose the move that has the biggest reward if we win.
You're gonna call it, even though you have no logic for escaping and no trump cards? You think you can accept a demand and win?
The cards might be useless. However, with just one more card, they might become a straight, a flush, or even a royal flush. If hell waits for me after both options, I'll take the one that'll finish her off if I win.
That's an insane move. Sometimes madmen leap into the path of death, and so miracles occur.
It's impossible. How could you escape this closed room without removing the chain?
There's only one difference between heroes and madmen. It's whether they win or lose. I'll be looking forward to your big victory.
I can finish things with this move, and as I predicted, I can kill Erika on my second move. Still can't think of a trick for escaping this closed room. However, there has to be something, there has to. Once I think of that, I can make a magic illusion of me changing into a butterfly and slip out of the crack in the door like smoke. If I have even a drop of that mad magician's blood in my veins, please let that honor give me just a fragment of a miracle right now. Power as a summoner, huh? How does a summoner help you save this?
So, Bat-san, let's have that second move they predicted you'd checkmate me on.
Please give an answer to Lady Erika's demand. Will you respond or will you refuse?
Slowly, Battler's hand stretched out to his king piece on the board. He lifted it up and slowly held it aloft, tracing a large circle in the sky. Battler respond or wouldn't he? Would the lock caused by the chain be preserved, or wouldn't it? Battler's king crushed the piece of the chain lock that stood right in front of it. Or would it slip away like a ghost and escape? This is my response. As predicted, on this second turn of mine, you're through. Here it comes. Fruto, Erika! Battler's king had become a black lightning bolt that crashed down onto the board. Where it had gone? On top of the piece of the chain lock? Or past that piece? I will repeat it. The lock caused by the chain is intact.
Radio?
Battler's king had left the chain lock piece in its place and had slipped past it.
Yeah, it sure would be cool if you could say the chain lock was still set, wouldn't it? Yeah. Don't you think that'd be cool? But do you know what they call a fool who's full of himself and jumps into the path of death just because it's cool?
Battler. No clue.
A billion idiots. Ushirimiya Battler. That's what we call them! I file a motion for a logic error! That red truth of yours just now has cut off your own logic. Please have that impartial referee make her judgment immediately. Great Lady Lambda Delta! Motion received. Lambda Delta, does this make logical sense? Your inspection, please.
Motion received. Battler. Show me. Let me see your cards.
Battler, son.
It's a royal flush, right? If you got nothing, you won't get out of this with just a sorry, okay?
Yep. I have no intention of apologizing.
If it's a logic error, the game board will be blown away. Inherited this game board from Beardo. It's the one thing you have left of that precious Beardo. So you must not allow logic error.
Logic error only becomes established when the witch admits to it. As long as they can keep thinking of new logic to escape with, they will not die, cannot die. But that would be like living in an endless living hell of the mind. Oh boy, we're back to that motif. Even if you manage to crawl around forever after falling into the darkness of thought, you'll just be eternally trapped in a hell where you constantly think of ways to escape the closed room while refusing to accept your logic error. Are you sure? Are you sure? This is nearly as bad as the depths of oblivion, got it? Like the difference between falling from the roof of a 10-story building and falling from the roof of a 100-story building. Shout out to Angie!
Shout out. Lambda, Battler has already finished making his move. Players can't take back a move once it's made. Act as an impartial judge, carry out our motion, and see whether or not Battler's escape from the closed room is logical, and whether there has been a logic error or not.
I love that the entire premise of a logic error is just the fact that magic isn't real. It's like, fuck the first half of the story.
I wouldn't say fuck the first half of the story at all, but that's just me.
Like, it means that the entire fight was, as they say at the end of episode 4, like a fight to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be slow, accurate, and meticulous like an archaeologist. And be as fast as a guy at an ice cream shop when he falsely and skillfully scoops out that sweet fragment vanilla soy sauce ice cream.
Yeah, you know that. Battler, let me see it.
Battler, son.
Beto, do you think I'll lose?
I don't want to think that. After fighting with the old me many times, you finally reached the miracle that I so wanted you to find. So, I'd like to believe that you'll win through a miracle once again. This woman called Beatrice, the whole time, she fought on the same border between reason and madness. She fought with a mixture of sadness, anger, and several other emotions for me that can't be described with words. And in the very last game, the very last moment, she managed to seize victory.
That might have been the purpose of the card Beto had been gripping as she fell. Beto passed away without realizing she'd won. In the final game, the true victor was Beto. That Beto entrusts me with this game board, so I'll win. I need at least you to believe in me, Beatrice.
If I believe, and a miracle occurs,
Please.
I do believe in you. Patla-san.
Ah! This is pissing me off. Please just check it already, Lady Lambda Delta. There is no valid logic. There doesn't exist any way to get out of this closed room. You are overeager, Patla-san. If you could win with this, that'd be cool. If you just vanished, even though the chain is still set, that'd make you so awesome, so cool, so mysterious. Hold me. Like hell you can. Like hell you can do it. If you could do that, you really would be a witch. If you could vanish your way out of the closed room like a puff of smoke, I'd have to acknowledge it. It'd be the work of a witch!
Quiet, Lady Erika. Lady Lambda Delta is conducting her inspection.
Shout out to Lenore.
I don't know, best girl.
Is this Lambda?
I think it'd be Lambda, right?
Pass through one move, go back, and corner.
With sweat gathering on her forehead, Lambda Delta inspected the movements of the piece from Battler's side. She was accurate and meticulous as an archaeologist, just as Burncastle had told her to be. After gulping stiffly, Lambda looked several times between the formation of the pieces on the board and Battler's face, which remained tense but steady.
Lambda?
I have finished my inspection.
There's no way the logic works.
Please, God.
What's it gonna be? I'm so excited! Erika,
What?
I'm so sorry.
Which way am I supposed to take that?
It was fun. Now this is the end.
I told you, which way am I supposed to take that?
Silence! I finished inspecting Battler's move. My decision is that...
Sound effects. I'm so excited.
it's valid.
Valid?
I'm so excited!
You're lying.
I judge it to be valid. He's presented logic that doesn't violate any of the red truths, and I finished checking it. The move by the player on the witch side, along with the final red truth you repeated, are valid. Battler, for the first time, I've got to say, I think you're incredible.
I am so excited to find out what's just happened.
I'm so ready for this.
See, and your game of miracle will always occur if you believe.
Patla-san, I'm sorry. If only I'd believed more strongly, you wouldn't have been cornered like this.
Vito flew onto Battler's chest, sobbing.
No.
Erika staggered backwards, shaking her head back and forth dizzily. And Burncastle, her face was like an expressionless mask.
Ooh.
And slowly it became a smile. For some reason, it seemed the sign of some horrible emotion. For some reason! Well done. To think that you escaped the room without removing the chain. Simply splendid. With her small hands, Lenore slowly started to applaud quietly. She was followed by Gertrude and then Cornelia. And then by Beto and Lambda Delta 2. Applause filled the room.
There we go.
They're all friends! Oni-chan, How did you...
I see. Yes, a move that cannot be seen by one whose thoughts are trapped within the closed room.
Impossible! Impossible!
As Lambda Delta watched Erika, who was breathing hard, shocked and dizzy with the despair she couldn't accept. She had to take her hat off to the swiftness of Battler's heart and intellect, and to the power of this miracle.
You didn't think you could do it.
What? I know I didn't. I really didn't.
Incredible, assure me, Battler. It's my complete loss for thinking your power and betas would cancel out each other and bring an eternal draw. And Byrne, who thought everything would move according to her plan, even though she already knew your true strength, has also suffered a complete loss. Byrne is the witch who waits for miracles. You are the witch who summons miracles. You are not Byrne's piece. Just now, without a doubt, you have surpassed Byrne. You really did. In this one moment, think up a trick by which to escape from this closed room.
This is a really slow version of this track.
Yeah.
As Erika had predicted, Battler had been hiding in the closet. Then during the disturbance in the bathroom, he had snuck out of the door. Erika had guessed this much. That's why they retroactively set the chain lock and sealed it to prevent Battler from doing this very thing. The chain lock cannot be reset from the outside, so it should have been impossible to escape from the closed room. However, Battler didn't let his thinking get trapped inside this closed room, and so he broke through. It doesn't matter who, but let's explain it with his mother, Kyrie's piece. Just like Battler, the life or death status of the rest of the first Twilight victims has not been specified by the Red Truth. In other words, just like Battler, the others and Kyrie specifically can still move. And their closed rooms were not sealed so they can go out as they please. Kyrie had come to save him. Kyrie followed behind Erika and waited in the hallway while the latter entered the guest room and sealed the door from the inside. Then, after Battler undid the chain lock and escaped...
Don't you comment.
He is so fucked right now. Erika fucking
Keep
murdered that bitch. She entered the room in his place. Then Kyrie reset the chain lock from the inside and hid in the closet just like Battler had done. Yes, Battler truly isn't inside this guest room right
It's
now.
so triumphant, this music.
Oh, he is so fucked. He is so fucked. However, that doesn't mean that no one else is inside it. Kyrie took Battler's place in the closet.
Oh boy.
I can't read this in Battler's voice anymore. The one exception that Erika had left and is there still. Kyrie saved Battler.
Oh, Shiromia
There
Kyrie
it is, boys!
cannot save Battler.
Actually, I believe that was Nox who said that, but the point stands.
That was beautiful.
I just turned down the sound on my headphones, just covering my ears from your screaming. Yeah. I'm not saying... I was actually very surprised. You're like, what? Battler did it? And then you're like, oh, wait, no.
Oh.
Just as it was about...
Fucked. Oh,
I know.
so hard.
I was not on top of this, but when that line came up, I got fucking chills. So I was like, what do you mean Kyrie can't save Battler? And then I was hit with a wave of emotion. Shall we continue? Or do you need a break?
This is the most, like,
I know.
bittersweet moment
It's
this whole
fucked up.
playthrough.
It's
Because on the one hand, I was like, yeah, Battler did it, boys!
I know!
And then the moment they're like, Kyrie, I was like, oh.
It's so heartbreaking.
Because the moment Eric is like running around and checking the crime scenes, I'm like, this bitch is killing him.
And you're like, no, maybe she isn't. And then your expectations
This
were...
is like straight back to episode 3 where I was like, it's all a ploy, but it doesn't matter either way.
Yeah.
This was all a trap, but it doesn't matter either way. You fucked, Battler. You fucked it up.
Well, let's see how things pan out, because we haven't actually had any reveals yet. I can either confirm or deny anything, but...
the pace, the crawling slow
I know.
pace.
It's
with which
such a
that kid
fucking build.
was, mwah,
It's beautiful.
mwah, Ryukashi. This is the best.
He's such a
This is
cruel,
the best.
such a cruel person. My
And
goodness.
you know what's gonna happen next is Battler's gonna be like, fuck, Rosa! Rosa can't save Kyrie. Natsui! Rosa, Natsui can't save.
What was that order again?
Oh,
Kyrie, Rosa, Natsui? Okay.
oh god. He's fucked so hard.
Alright, let's keep. Alright, you gotta say ha.
Huh?
Here we go. Yeah, but that was Nox, not Eric, who said that, but honestly, it doesn't matter.
What do you mean?
Shiramiya Kyrie cannot save Battler.
Oh god.
Why not? There's no red saying that Kyrie can't save Battler. Wait a second, how are you using the red truth?
Valid. Lanor's red truth is valid.
Requesting permission to unsheath red key.
Permission granted. Please do it, Lanor.
How? How can you give that permission?
It's valid. As a result of an impartial judgment, I guarantee this red truth.
Oh, this is so beautiful.
Without telling us your reason?
We'll tell you that soon. Very soon.
Battler hasn't proclaimed Kyrie is dead with the red truth yet. It is allowed for Kyrie to be playing dead, and the packing tape is already being used on 3 rooms, making it impossible for you to steal Kyrie's room. So how can you use the red truth to say that Kyrie can't save Battler? That red truth has no basis.
We'll tell you its basis soon. But more importantly, Lambda,
I'm so happy. It's so bittersweet. It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful.
It's a beautiful murder.
the logic with Kyrie has ceased to function. You should probably find another piece which places with
Here it
Battler.
comes.
Don't you
Here
think?
it comes.
Don't you think?
Here it comes.
Yes. There are still pieces that can save Battler.
Here it comes. You construct the logic. All we need is someone who can switch places with Battler.
Doesn't have to be Kyrie. Then let's switch it to Natsuhi.
Here it comes.
Shirley and Natsuhi switch places with Battler.
Lano, do it.
Here we go. I thought it was gonna be Battler doing it though. I'm happy it's Lambda. This is even better. As you wish.
Poor Battler.
I can't read. I'm just so excited.
I don't
right
even
now.
want to talk.
Lenore's red longsword. Smash Natsui's face a little bit. What voice do I do?
I don't know.
How can Eric deny this logic without the detective's authority?
Lambda's just the most fun to do it. And the track right now, everything's perfect.
I know, of
This is
course.
the best.
Of course it's this track! You son of a bitch, Ricochet!
Oh, it's so good. Ashirami and Natsuhi cannot save Battler.
And then Ava. Shirley Ava.
Ashirami Ava cannot save Battler.
And then Rosa Maria.
Well, you got the order wrong, but...
Useless. Rosa and Maria cannot save him either.
Rip.
Death, 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 death. Die the death. Sentenced to death. The great equalizer is death.
In red.
Achievement get.
Do we get an achievement?
All of
Die the
them.
death!
It's called all of them.
Oh, God.
It's so good.
That's horrifying.
Oh, yes, boys.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Here we go, lads.
I thought he'd done it. I didn't believe he could do it, and then I
And
thought
then you
he'd done
thought maybe he'd done it.
it. What a roller
But
coaster
no.
of emotion. What a roller coaster.
I know.
Objection! Erika-san doesn't have the detective's
Doesn't
authority.
fucking matter.
How could she use any
Here we
red?
go.
How could she use any red except for the packing tape seals?
Oh, we don't even need to be told. It's so good.
Die the death.
Objection overruled. Not having the detective's authority does not imply that one cannot use any red at all. There's something she can use, right?
Yes. Yes, there is. There are several exceptions that even humans without the detective's authority can use.
Insane. There's no way. Yes, there is none. However, there is a certain action permissible only to humans without the detective's authority.
What is it?
And it can become a truth of such overwhelming credibility that witches can easily raise it to the level of red truth.
What can humans do who
What
aren't
could it
detectives?
possibly be?
What does any particular rule sets
What
have to
happened?
say about detectives?
Yeah, Nox. What could it be?
A certain action permissible only to humans who are the detective?
I don't know who this
Bella?
is. You don't mean Eric, you.
I got it. Yes, if I'm right, then this red truth is valid.
Looks so smug.
I don't understand. Was there some power that could only be used without the detective's authority?
There is some power.
Some power.
Some
yes.
power. Power is an odd word for
It's such an appropriate word, though, for what's happening right now.
I know, it's so good.
That's what's messed up about it. Ryukoshi, I love you.
There is. There's just one.
So, you finally noticed. That's right. That's the only reason I abandoned the detective's authority this time around.
Oh.
You told me I could make the detective proclamation whenever I wanted, right? Well, unfortunately, I'm no longer capable of making that proclamation.
Which Nox rule was it? Nox's 7th.
Here we go.
It is forbidden for the detective to be the culprit.
Oh, fucking chills.
Oh, I know, right?
I've read this before, and I have chills.
I saw it coming from a mile away, and I still got the chills. It's so good. It's so good.
You mean, what? What?
Finally, Beta realized everything.
That's why better.
Yes, the detective's authority bestows several powers that are useful for reasoning, but it eliminates one single privilege. That is Nox's 7th. It is forbidden for the detective to be the culprit.
In this game, it is impossible for humans without the detective's authority to examine corpses perfectly. So, there have been several tricks where the dead have all been faking and walking around where they please.
And this answers all of my questions about what Erika knew in the metaspace.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
You probably thought you could use that logic to create several impossible crimes.
Yes.
After this, when I said that I wouldn't make the detective proclamation, somewhere on the inside you must have said, "I've won." You're pretty sly yourself. You gave me the packing tape seal seemingly out of mercy, but that was because you planned to have all of the first Twilight victims survive, band together, and carry out the crimes. So, you gave me only 3 rooms worth, which wouldn't cover all 6 people. No matter which rooms I sealed, at least one of your underlings could move freely. You must have been planning to use that to corner me. But too bad. Your naivete really pisses me off. Stupid man.
I admit it. I admit that I fell for your monkey show. And in my pride, I tried to show you some mercy. That's right. Even without the detective's authority, there's a way for humans to do it. A way to make sure that a corpse examination cannot fail.
Oh boy.
Is the human lying in front of you alive or dead? You can answer that question by examining the corpse. With just a quick glance, your chances of being right are 50-50 either way. Various bits of knowledge and experience can be used to obtain a more precise result. However, no matter how much you do that, while you can reach up to 99%, you can never reach 100% accuracy. That's what most people would think. However, there is one way. One way to conduct a perfect examination.
And that is to kill them.
Erika.
Without the detective's authority, I can't tell whether the victims are dead or faking, so I needed a way to be sure. And, if possible, it would be preferable if they were removed from the game board so they couldn't make a mess of things later on.
I can't wait to get the tip on this.
So I dashed through the chaos-filled mansion, visited all the crime scenes, and I re-killed all of them.
Oh, yes! Was that the tip? Did we get the tip
I don't
just
know.
then?
Yep,
we
there it
got the
is.
tip!
Oh, Jesus.
Read it, boy. Read it.
Artemia Nazi, her corpse was found in her room. Her neck was completely severed by a blade. The most perfect kind of corpse, both impossible to mistakenly identify as dead and completely recognizable.
And they're all the same.
They're all the same.
Ava, Shirmia Kyrie,
Yeah.
Shirmia Rosa, Shirmia Maria. She fucking decapitated them.
Yep.
What the fuck
She
is
just-
wrong
she
with this
just-
bitch?
She literally decapitated everyone, including Maria,
Oh,
a 9-year-old girl.
what
Yeah.
a fucking monstrosity of a
Yeah.
person.
But it was the most efficient way.
I know.
It was the optimal strategy,
It's
right?
amazing.
I know.
How old is Erika meant to be?
Younger, I think a bit younger than Jessica. So like, I think like 16, 18, something like that.
That boyfriend must have fucked her up.
Wow. I don't want to bring that up. But yeah.
Because a character cannot do what they would not normally do themselves, right?
Yes, that is absolutely true. Regardless of
Holy
what...
shit.
Yeah, the characters can only do what they would have done if they were a person.
I've been like sitting
Yeah.
on that thought this whole time, and now that it's finally in red in front of me, I'm like, oh yeah!
Erika was capable of turning up on this island, and in order to like win this murdering mister,
Murdering mister.
murdering mister, she just killed all of them. That's her dedication to like being a detective
What?
on an island. That just
Fucking
yeah.
character.
Like, I'm sure you're mostly on top of this, but like, this is a setup, right? They're
course.
playing dead, and the letter is them being like, oh, why don't you come and play our little murder mystery game? And
Yeah.
Erika's like, sure, by killing you all. Yeah, that sounds good.
And because we haven't really had Erika's perspective, it's made it so much easier for this to just happen in the background.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't think...
That's why when you were like, what's she doing? And I'm like, I mean, she doesn't have to do that much. She's just running around killing everybody, right? Yeah.
It was so easy to spot from like a mile away, but it doesn't make
Difficult
it...
to lock it in,
Yeah,
right?
it's difficult to lock it in and doesn't make it any worse now that we have the truth.
100%.
Because there are so many just fucking stacked up details that just make this the most awful thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's
It all
keep
lines
going.
up like a bloody path.
What on earth? Of course, she couldn't just kill them however she liked. It had to be a perfect way of killing, good enough that their deaths could be determined with the red truth.
That's one way of putting it.
Erika made sure of that. The manner in which they were each killed differed, but afterwards, she completely severed the heads of all those she killed.
I mean, at least she killed them and then severed their heads.
That method of killing is solid enough to be called a red truth, right, Lambda?
Valid. No human could survive after having their head sliced off.
It's true.
Could you have severed all those heads without getting any blood on you?
I gotta think about this one. How did we get around this one?
I don't know. I don't know that it matters that much.
I feel like it's
but-
gonna be the swimsuit again or whatever.
For example, you could take a large trash bag from the kitchen and grab the knife through it. Then, if you covered the entire corpse with the trash bag as you did your work, you blocked nearly all of the blood splatter.
Thank goodness!
She's just giving us life tips. This is how you murder without getting blood on you. Oh, look at that.
I used enough knives and bags for several people, then left them there at the crime scene. Of course, I didn't humiliate myself by walking around with them, leaving blood in the hallways and dirtying my clothes. There will probably be trash bags left at the crime scenes with my fingerprints on them, but since this game ends before the police come, that can't be used as evidence, so there's no problem with leaving them there.
You insane!
Fuck.
What kind of mystery would ever allow something like that?
I can't believe I'm hearing this from a witch on the fantasy side. Oh, and don't worry, I didn't kill you. I didn't have time to sever the head of the last one I found. So I just sealed your whole room with the packing tape you gave me.
Because that takes much less time.
Then again, that might have been because I knew this would happen and wanted to watch you struggle.
Oh, it's perfect.
Oh, that's right. Just as I can say that I killed them in red, I can say one more thing.
Okay. I think it's going to be something about a logic error, but I don't know. At that point, Erika stopped for a second, and, can she really be wearing an even uglier expression than everything before now? With that highest quality face. She spoke.
All 5 people I killed were very much alive until the moment I killed them.
Oh, that's not the one I was expecting. I knew it, but I wasn't expecting it.
Everyone faithfully played dead as best they could until the moment just before I killed them, okay? Maria-san was quite a little trooper.
Oh, thank goodness, Erika.
After all, even though her mother had already been killed in the same room, she kept on playing dead without even noticing.
Thank goodness.
Erika's not a nice person.
They're demons.
I agree.
Up until now, many witches and demons have appeared in this tale, but for the first time, here are true demons.
At least Brenner baked cookies.
You bastards, you bastards. Ah! This time, Beto understood the entire plot of this tale.
This tale was just the story of a prank. I'm out. No, that's it. I'm done.
Do you need a minute? What are you doing? Where are you going? Don't leave me here with this monster.
Fucking was just the story of a prank.
It's just the story of a prank.
Just the story of a prank.
It was.
Ben. I'm sorry, Ben. This has all been a prank. You aren't leaving here.
You aren't leaving here alive. I've locked the doors. Well, it is just us in this house. And then we both turn up dead and it's witches. Oh,
Closed room murder.
No.
There's even an island out there.
No.
Just stop short. We can go stage our own murders.
No. Please.
Surely someone had thought of playing a slightly harsh trick on this inconsiderate guest who loved to show off her intelligence and act the part of a great detective, and several people had agreed to go along with it. The ones who would play the victims would go into their assigned rooms, set the chain and the lock from the inside, and play dead to create a fake closed room murder. If you think about it that way, the rooms chosen for the corpses seem to make more sense.
Are you trying to imitate
It was
Erika's voice?
only natural for Natsuhi to die in her own room. If you're going to play dead, it's only natural that you'd want to lie down in your own bed. Ava's vanity is strong, so she must have asked to die in the VIP room. Kyrie was in Krause's study. That was probably well air-conditioned and comfortable. Rosa and Maria were in the parlor. A soft sofa should have been a great place to play dead. Maria had done her best and had impressively acted the part of lying dead alongside the wall. Battler was in a guest room. The temperature here was also nice. The bed must also have been fairly pleasant. Yes, the victims for this first Twilight had all died in comfortable rooms. In the past games, the corpses had often been found exposed in the courtyard or under the rose garden arbor, in the cold gardening shed or in the boiler room. This time, there were no victims in any such inhospitable environments. This is probably the truth. This is the story of a prank, with no one dead from the beginning. And then, this demon turned it into a real murder case. You do have the right to speak ill of Lady Erika. However, right now, you also have the obligation of showing a new logic that doesn't lead to any contradictions.
I mean, is there anything?
I cannot think of it for the life of me. I mean, as far as I can tell, they haven't checked the windows for the seals yet.
I'm pretty sure it's safe to say they wouldn't pull a stupid trick like that.
I know,
That's not a thing.
but, like, what the fuck has the man got left?
I don't know.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust, corpses to corpses. Hey, Battler-san, let's continue the game. Please, present a different human to switch places with you. If you don't, your trick will become a logic error.
There's now no one who can come to the rescue. Erika's killed all of them.
Are you going to... What are you doing? The narrator voice.
This is my feelings right now.
Okay, that's okay.
I can't read this in a serious voice because
fair.
it is just so ridiculous.
That's alright.
Damn it. Also, I'm kind of vaguely trying to channel the, like, Stanley Parable narrator.
I noticed. It's alright. We might switch you out soonish.
Battler-san, please calm yourself. Now's the time to hold back your tears and fight. Even if you lost 5 pieces who can save you, there's still the 11 people in the guest house.
You're right. Cross, Hideyoshi, Rudolph, George, Jessica, Shannon, Cannon. Genji, Goto, Kumasawa, Nanjo. Doesn't matter who, as long as someone comes here. Somebody help!
But it's no use! Please look at this Gertrude Cornelia!
Let it be known that we are here and ready.
Butler Schwan! Please look at this! What are these?
Erika, who was now so excited that her pronunciation was tumbling all over the place, pointed at 2 doors.
I've been looking forward to this scene.
It was the hallway on the 2nd floor of the guest house. I was wondering where the Schwan was coming from earlier.
There it goes.
They were in front of the cousin room and the next room over.
Look, here. There's something attached to the door. What is it? Hey, what is it, Gertrude?
Know that it is the packing tape seal of the cousin room.
Oh, yeah! Very good! One more! What about this door?
Know that it is the packing tape seal of the next room over.
Oh, very good!
I love the like backwards comma. What the fuck is that shit?
Okay, you two. Why don't you show everyone watching at home on their TVs? Please have a look at the packing tape seals on both doors. So, what do you think of them? Are they broken or aren't they? Please, let us have the red truth.
Please allow me to speak. Know that neither is broken. Know that an unbroken seal provides that there are still none who have entered or exited. It needs no second telling, but know that entry or exit without breaking the seals is impossible. Good. Battler, it is as you see. There no longer exists anyone who can save you. The victims of the first Twilight have all been killed, and the guest house is still sealed. No one can come to the rescue. Erika had guessed that this moment might come so long ago, and that was why she had made the strategic move of suddenly sealing those 2 rooms. This answered the doubts that Cornelia had felt at the time. Wondering why the human side player wouldn't want as many free humans as possible was a natural, simple reaction to that move. However, if you sealed up all the humans, there would be no room for magic to intervene. Why is magic magic? Because the people who see it say that it's magic. Then, is it possible for magic to exist in a place with no people? Does the lack of anti-magic toxin mean that there's no problem? Wrong. Magic in a place that isn't being witnessed is no different from a delusion, a daydream. Magic that matches a result must be carried out by human hands. If all humans are sealed off, then magic cannot be created. This was Erika's strategy for this game and her beautiful checkmate.
Well now, who's going to come save you? Please, tell me the identity of the real person who switched places with you, remained in the guest room in your place, and set the chain lock from the inside.
In before Kinzo.
If they even exist.
Okay, Battler. Your logic has been interrupted. Who could have come to save you? You are now in the middle of a logic error. Enjoy.
Wait. I'm still thinking.
Battler, you have 2 options and 1 duty. The first option is to build a new thread of logic to reconstruct your closed room trick. The second is to come clean and admit to your logic error. And you're obligated to choose one of these options.
It is merciful. There's no restriction on the amount of time you have to make that choice. That's right. Your time is endless, eternal. I'm sure there's still some way. Some twisted logic that can get you out of this.
I'd like to imagine that this entire thing is just a parable for episode 3 where Ryuka, she wrote this whole thing and was like, but it's too hard for them. I guess I'll have to come up with something new.
Maybe. Anyway, I'm sure there's still some way.
I'm thinking about it. About you, Beto. Let me know if you find anything. I'm sure the old Beto could have managed something. She built up several closed rooms like this. Beto felt awful. Why was she Beto and yet not? Surely the old her would have thought up a trick under these restrictions. If only she could do that, she could guide Battler to victory, but she couldn't do it as her current self.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll think of a good trick. Eventually, surely, probably, maybe. Pretty sure it's impossible, though.
So then, Battler, let's go back to the guest room. From now on, that will be your world.
Here we go.
Oh yeah.
If you don't
Here
mind,
we go.
I would love to take over narration from this point.
Absolutely.
This is the point that I've been waiting for.
Here we go. That's a lighting effect I recognize fondly.
100%. Once again, they returned to the slightly chilly guest room. It was the same room as before, of course, but it felt as though an unsettling darkness had crept in. Here's the room you'll spend your days in from now on. You just need to escape from this room by any means you want.
However, there are conditions. As I believe you know, these were all things you forced on yourself. First, this room is a closed room created from the inside. The seals and the windows are intact, so there can be no escape through there.
There it is.
Of course, there is no way to escape by leaving through the bathroom. I'll make it simple. There is no exit to escape from except from this door. However, the chain lock on this door is set. You cannot set and reset it all you want, but you can only do so from the inside. Furthermore, you are free to go out through the door, but you cannot leave or escape while the chain lock is unset. You have to show that you can escape from this room with the chain lock still connected.
Now that reminds me of Beatrice throwing Red to Battler. Just to throw that out there.
But he couldn't possibly...
He couldn't possibly do it? He made this closed room himself.
We have arranged for just one exit other than the door. That one's in the bathroom.
My merciful master has given you a last way out if you fail to think of any trick to escape. Please listen up.
Berncastle guided Battler to the bathroom. It was just a normal bathroom. The setup that had surprised Erika to buy time was no longer working. However, the bundle of wire and the nippers that had been used to prepare that trap still lay in the empty bathtub.
You're saying that I can use these to escape?
Yes, please feel free. It's a present. However, no matter what you use, you can't lock the room from the outside. And you can't fill the seals either, okay? These tools aren't here to help you pull some trick with the chain lock. They're here to let you escape from this room in a more direct way.
How am I supposed to use these?
Not bad then. I see your mind's as grotesque as ever.
There is an exit that leads directly outside from this bathroom. Can you find it?
It's the drain pipe!
You don't mean...
Figure it out, Beto? Please tell me.
That's impossible!
Please, where is it? Tell me. Can't let the game end like this.
There.
It's the drain pipe. Huh? Where under the bathtub?
Can't you see it? There's a round hole that leads straight out of this room.
It's the drain pipe.
Yep.
It's a bit small though.
You people, ah!
It's the drain right there at the bottom of the bathtub.
It's the drain pipe.
You can get out through there without touching the chain lock, but your body is a bit too big to get through this exit. That's why I decided to lend you those tools there.
Escape through the drain? How? Didn't mean using those nippers for 100 years to widen that hole, right?
Battler and Beardo had already realized. They had figured out this demonic way out that the demons were proposing.
Just use those nippers and cut your body down to a size that can fit.
Crunch, crunch. Might as well sit back in the tub under a hot shower as you start from your feet going up. Chip, then wash, chip, then wash. Just keep doing that and oh, what do you know? You suddenly managed to escape from the closed room.
Oh, what do you know is right, my master? Looks like both siblings are gonna end up the same way.
Shout out to Angie.
Angie Berger.
But Burn, at that rate, just the hand holding the nippers will be left.
That's why we have the wire. Beforehand, Battler will have to wrap the wire around his wrists, then stretch the other end out into the corridor through the crack in the door. You should be able to fit just a wrist through the crack left by the chain lock. You okay? I got so distracted. I think Bird's still talking. If you're willing to do that, I'd be happy to pull that wire from the hallway and save you.
My master, if you do that, I want it. Battler's wrists.
And what would you use that for? But no, I've already decided to use it as a back scratcher. When the time comes, I'll scratch your back with it. What do you say?
Yes, my master. Master's going to scratch my back, Battler's head.
So unpleasant.
Find them annoying?
Yes.
Irritating, obnoxious?
Yes.
Don't worry, you'll get quiet really soon.
Oh god, no.
All noise to disturb your thoughts will now disappear for all eternity until you can escape from this room.
That's a relief. I'll be glad of the quiet.
Here's some advice for a survivor of hell. Enjoy this noise while you can. Even the annoying insults you hear now will bring you the fond memories to preserve your sanity amidst the eternal silence.
I'd forgotten. So Lambda's saying she's been a victim of a logic
She's been through
error?
some kind of hell.
Is that a Hiroshi thing?
I don't know. I will neither confirm nor deny. Do you hate Ben and Erika? Then that's their parting gift to you. As long as you have hatred, you'll be able to avoid giving up. Giving up has a completely different meaning here.
This is definitely
This is definitely Lambda.
Prepare yourself while you can. For the eternity of hell you'll be in when you've given up but still cannot escape.
Did you just call yourself a survivor? Then you also...
No, every once in a while, that terror comes back to me. I wonder whether I really have escaped from that hell. What if I actually lost my mind a long time ago? I'm still in there, just seeing a delusion of us chatting happily like this. That nightmare still terrifies me. And so I need to constantly truly feel that this isn't a dream. Hey, are you guys really real? You're not just an insane delusion I'm having inside that hell, right? Right?
That's totally a Higurashi thing.
Well, this is to explain why she's such a fucking absurdist.
Yeah.
There was something in Lambda Dells' pleading expression that sent shivers down the spine. It was probably more terrifying than any threatening words she could have used, with even the most vile expression on her face. It's time for Battler to realize a logic error isn't so sympathetic that you can just stick out your tongue, ask for forgiveness, and say, "You'll be more careful next time." It is never worth risking one by leaving things up to chance, even if you feel that you can't back down at this point in the fight. It's time for him to face reality and learn the true risks and terrors implied by the words betting one's life on a fight, which must sound so exciting for a man.
Battler-san, get a hold of yourself. I'll think deeply upon it as well. I'll think of a trick to escape this room with all I've got. I will come to save you.
Pero. Definitely think of something, just watch.
Well, regretfully, it's time for us to leave. We mustn't get in the way of his job any longer.
See you later, Battler-san. Or, like you'd said, see you again, right? Have a nice day.
Later, Battler. Good luck.
Battler-san, don't give up. You'll certainly think of a trick. I'll think as well, and I'll come to save you.
Pero?
Before he could finish saying Bear's name, they had all disappeared. They hadn't disappeared in a golden spray or turned into butterflies and flown away. Just as though there had never been anyone in this room since the beginning, everyone but him had vanished in an instant. Nothing remained. Not their voices, their presence, their warmth, nor even the faint perfume Bearto had worn. The frigid air of the room was wrapped only in the lonely sound of the wind and rain. With that overpowering feeling of isolation,
I finally began to realize how horrible a punishment this would be. Damn those bastards. Can't be that hard to get out of a room like this. I mean, rooms are made so that people can go in and out of them, right? If they can do that, you wouldn't call it a room. How pointless. It's easy to undo the lock and the chain from the inside. Damn, for some reason I've always been clumsy, and undoing chain locks always gives me trouble. Oh, it's off. How pointless. Hey look, I can already open the door whenever I want.
here it comes.
Hey, what's this cold feeling on my neck? What the hell is this? Why is there suddenly this iron collar around my neck that's attached to a chain? Damn it, who would do something like that? When I reset the chain lock, it disappears. When I take it off, it appears. Chain's pretty long, so I can make it pretty far out into the hallway. I won't let go of the door. If I close the door, stand on the outside and stick my hand through the crack, maybe I can figure out how to set the chain. Why have I always been so clumsy? Clumsy as a billion idiots. Not really clumsy, it's just me and chain locks don't go well together. Damn it, I hate chain locks, I hate chains. Why won't it work? Why can't I set the chain lock from the outside? Damn it, damn it, damn it.
That was abrupt.
That was abrupt.
Battler-san, hang in there, hang in there.
can't get out.
Bears are called out to Battler repeatedly, shaking his shoulders hard, but by now, Battler's eyes were blank. The words didn't reach him. Van Castle and Erika had already left. The game was officially suspended until Battler could think of a new trick, but it was doubtful that it would be resumed even after 1,000 years or more.
Okay, I'm heading off too. So long, you two.
There's no need to say so long. We'll think of a trick right away and the game will resume. We won't take up your time, so stay here a little longer, please.
We've heard those same words from many witches in the past, and I've heard hardly any who've actually managed to resume their games. As far as I know, the only two are me and Burn.
Why? Why would a person who knows about that hell throw another person into it? Just because you're bored? Is that all?
Yeah, that's all. It's to escape from boredom. Because when we get bored, we remember. Remember that hell. And you know, by throwing someone else down into that hell, we realize that we're the ones throwing out on the throwing side, and that means we aren't in that hell ourselves. If we don't keep doing that, the fear of hell will overwhelm us.
So weird.
It's very weird. Witches, man. If you two manage to get out of it, then he certainly will. I will save him. I can say it with certainty.
We still have 2 episodes to go.
With certainty? You swear with certainty before me, Lambda Delta, the Witch of Certainty?
Yes, with certainty.
Very well. I was the guardian for the former you anyway. Though the current you is different. I'll take care of you one last time. I'll give you a parting gift.
And what is that?
Hope. As long as you hold on to your certainty, your wishes will definitely come true. You listening? The old you was the endless witch Beatrice. You used to love detective novels that depicted impossible crimes. And you used to use those to make the claim that a witch existed to make many people believe in magic as one stage on your path to becoming a witch.
Detective novels?
That's right. The old you was an avid reader. You loved detective novels, loved closed room murders, and were super expert on impossible crimes. You searched for and found several closed room tricks, found the single most basic element to all of them, and used that to form the core of your magic compendium. Didn't Battler tell you? He said that the old you would definitely have thought of a way out of this predicament. I agree with that. I guarantee it by the name of the Witch of Certainty, Lambda Delta. The old you would definitely have resolved its closed room trick. That's my parting gift to you. Goodbye. You've sworn to the Witch of Certainty that you'll act with certainty, so I won't say farewell. I'll see you again soon.
Yes. We'll see you again. Soon. Lambda Delta vanished into thin air. Then, in the smoking room of the witch, the two who had held the title of Endless Witch were left behind. One had empty eyes, the other supported the first by his side. Ironically, it was the exact opposite of how their relationship had been in the previous game. That's such a good chapter.
That's so good.
This is like, EP5 is still my favorite of the true arcs, but EP6 has like so much.
That was so good.
I know.
That was so good.
That chapter is so fantastic.
The other
to
thing
read.
that's really fun about like that ending there is, you know, as they said, like the whole thing where that's like the exact opposite of what happened in 5.
I know.
And then also where we're like exploring the origins.
Also with Erika switching and oh my god, what is happening? Yeah, sorry.
Like the whole thing where it's like we're looking at in this episode with Elder Beatrice and Chick Beatrice, the like origin story of Beatrice told in this real wacky way so that it's not like explicitly revealing the truth.
Yep.
It's almost like the way that it seems to be setting up here is that, you know, Battler disappearing was like, you know, it feels like we're setting up for that to be, you know, the catalyst of how the witch Beatrice came to be like this character or this personality.
Yeah.
And that, you know, goes back to the whole thing of the sin in episode 4 and how Battler left and never came back on the white horse that he promised Shannon. And then also the idea that, like, if we take that as a parallel, that then, you know, using detective novels and writing up these stories, when Sayo met Battler again, it was like, this is what she'd done to try and, like, escape from her personal hell. And I've already, like, I think I've already posed the idea that, like, you know, maybe in, like, reality, the culprit wasn't actually, the culprit that we have in, like, episodes 1 to 4 in my theory wasn't actually, you know, going to kill anyone. They were just stories that they'd written, and we're going to be like, oh, hey, Batley, you're coming back. Look at this cool thing I've done. Like, to an extent, it massively devalues the whole suffering that we've seen the culprit go through, but it's also still, like, we don't know for a fact that it was actually the culprit in the...
We don't know.
On the game board who is the culprit in the real, like, truth of the world or whatever.
I mean, that to me is one of the most interesting questions of Umineko, and this is something that's in the whole game. That idea of not knowing the truth and also, like, devaluing other truths to, like, accepting one over the other.
Yeah.
There's a huge aspect. So if we were to, like, you know, they've talked about Catbox a little bit. This world is kind of like that because there are all these stories about it. But if we're trying to say that this is not magic, then one of these stories has to be correct, or none of them need to be. So we're devaluing everything that we see in these episodes by saying that they never happened in a sense. And like that is, as you said, like that could connect to a, you know, if somebody's like writing stories and planning to do something but then never actually does it, that devalues the suffering and the hell that they went through. And yeah, I mean, that's obviously a big theme of this chapter.
Like, part of it actually feels almost better to me, like that the person was strong enough through magic to actually not go through and do this. But then the fact is supposedly that they didn't come back and everyone died.
Well, yeah, the premise is that everyone died on an island. What happened, right?
So, like, there's a part of me that still almost kind of wants it to be the truth that Sayo didn't, like... It's still kind of weird to say that name, like, applying it to just a theory.
Yes, absolutely. It's a good theory, though. I like it a lot.
But, like, part of me almost feels like it'd be more satisfying to me to just say that, like, the culprit was strong enough through, like, perceiving the world through magic to not end up as fucked up as they portray themselves. And, like, writing it all down was, like, their coping mechanism.
What is magic, right? I know that I know that... Magic, like, this is something they even talk about in this chapter. Like, Maria did, like, magic didn't happen when Maria overturned the cup and there was candies there. And Ryukishi has written a lot about how, like, you should not believe that these are literally witches and magical spells. However, magic is such an important theme in this story.
Yeah.
We just have to redefine what we mean when we say magic. And whether or not we think that magic exists, the magic that exists to cover up the process, to soften truths, that sort of thing, because that's very much what we talk about in episode 5 and 6. Although it is, of course, everywhere else.
Because there's also this thing that, like, you know, if I'm trying to care about this, like, quote unquote main character of Beatrice, it's like it almost makes you want to care less if they were the person that actually went through and fucking killed the whole family.
Definitely. No,
like,
definitely.
You know, it's not like at least in the sense of, like, a novel, it was unwarranted. Because, you know, the part of the premise is it's, like, set up to be a murder mystery, so, you know.
Of course. There has to be a culprit somewhere, right?
Yeah. But at the same time, if they're, like, you know, the character we're meant to care about, I don't want them to be the culprit now.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want any of them to be the culprit, and that's interesting because that's something that we
that's like right back
criticize.
To the start with Battler.
Exactly. This is why this is Umineko. This is the good shit.
Yeah.
Now that we're getting to episode 6, we're really starting to see how everything comes around. Everything reflects back on what's happened earlier.
You just want to believe that people would be better than that.
Absolutely.
But the fact is that somehow 18 people died and Angie was left alone.
Like, something that's worth considering, of course, is that and this is something I didn't come to a similar conclusion to you, but something that's worth considering is that way back in episode 1 to 4, who are the most heroically portrayed characters in the narrative? Just pick any two characters you think might be portrayed as particularly heroic as opponents to the witch.
Battler and Angie.
Not Canon and Shannon? The way they're, like, always fighting Beatrice's minions constantly.
All right, yeah. I mean, I guess so.
Yeah.
It is.
That was definitely something that was going through my mind in EP2, because we're told that Cannon could not have carried out the murders, and yet he's like, if we believe that there's a narrator, then they must have a reason for betraying Cannon in such a heroic light.
Right.
It's okay.
I was thinking about that in a very different context.
That's okay.
But yeah,
I didn't word myself so well.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, obviously I can either deny anything, but like thinking of this as a coping mechanism by someone, thinking of them as someone who does care about the characters in the story, puts so many of the events, particularly the magical scenes, in a different light. Like the way that George and Jessica like fight Renove and Garp is such a great scene.
Yeah, like it'd almost be like with the whole, the island exploded for whatever reason theory. It'd almost be just like the perfect like fantasy ending that lightning fucking struck something, shorted a circuit, and then a whole bunch of explosives detonated or something.
Yeah, like it was just a big accident.
Yeah, that's not going to be the case.
But it's so unlikely based on what we've
especially
seen, right?
how fucked up Ava ends up in what we saw in like episode 3 and 4.
Yep. I mean, that's assuming that those are real events, which of course you think that there might be some events of those that are not like real.
I'm kind of treating it the same way as episode 1 in that like I'm using it to work off because that's what that's what we have, that's the source material, but I am being careful not to fall into the same trap as I did with episode 1 where like outright believing that it was the truth. So I'm like, when I'm thinking of things, I'm always keeping in mind that the only future we've really seen is Ava survives, Angie has this fucked up childhood.
I mean, our job is not so much to solve a murder mystery as it is to find the truth. And as they say, without love, it cannot be seen.
Right. Shout out to Okanogi.
Yeah, Okanogi, best boy.
Best boy.
That wink, though.
Next time.